In about 4 weeks, I'll be going back to my retirement home in Florida. But presently, I'm at a very rustic cottage in upstate New York, and this was a very chilly morning. So I thought I would sit next to the potbellied stove and show you what's keeping me warm this morning. The other thing that kept me warm this morning was I took a very long hot shower. And the reason it was so long is that I was thinking while I was in the shower about my identity and how one's identity changes throughout one's life. Do I want my identity going forward to be widow? So I thought about how you start out as a child and your identity is as a daughter and as a grandchild. And then you grow through those years, you're a teenager, you grow into adulthood and you develop various identities. Now, from the time I've been 7 years old, I think my primary identity has been that I am a person who believes in God, who believes that He is creator and sustainer of the universe. I believe in Jesus. I believe that Jesus came to be a sacrifice for our sins, and that because of his sacrifice, we can be cleansed of our sins and can have a right relationship with God. So that's my overriding identity. That's still an identity, and I've had it since I was 7. But there's lots of other identities I've had that I've lost. For example, my phone is ringing right now, and it's probably, yes, it's my identity as a mother calling. But I'll just put that off for a bit. So I've been a registered nurse, and I kept that identity until 2 years ago when I was 75. I let my license go. Although there's a sense in which you can't take out of yourself the things that being a nurse built into you. I was a teacher. I thought I was all done with that identity about 4 years ago. I stopped tutoring. But then this past academic year, 21-22, I came out of retirement because a small Christian school was pretty desperate for a chemistry teacher, which is something I'm capable of. And it's the school 2 of my grandkids were attending. So my husband and I agreed it was a great excuse to live near our grandkids for a year. But that identity's pretty much gone. I was a vocalist until I was in my 50s, but I have essential tremor, and it impacts my hands. It also impacts my vocal cords. Sometimes my chin even goes into a tremor. And so I no longer have the identity of being a soloist, which I was for many years. Now I've lost my identity as a wife. And I'm pondering, what do you replace that with? I'm still a mother and a grandmother, but the identity as a wife is gone. I don't want to really be a widow. Not that I want to remarry. That's not what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is that there must be something else less depressing. Before I met Bill, I discussed this with God, and I made a promise that if I never married, I would be a joyful single person. So is that now an identity I should try to take on? I certainly don't want to be known as a cranky old lady. So where do I go from here? Good question.